Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
When someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
Slavery for 400 years? For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
I wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. I almost killed my daughter.
You could say that over the last decade, Kanye West has become a very controversial figure. From public mental breakdowns to what I'd call controversial takes, how he's viewed in the public eye is generally universal, with people calling him insane and saying how he often needs help. But he wasn't always like this, so what happened? As some people would refer to him as being the old Kanye, Kanye West actually started with humble beginnings. Before his rap career even took off, he often produced tracks for other rappers but was never really taken seriously as being a rapper himself. So he had to work hard to get where he wanted to be. This man literally had retainers on and took them out to rap, which I'd consider to be very humbling given the persona of how rappers were supposed to be back then. Kanye was true to himself. He was a confident, talented, and hardworking person looking to get into the industry in any way he could, no matter the difficulty.
Like, the question is, how do you get into this industry? How do you get into the shoes I'm in right now? I'm just happy to be here. But as an artist, like, I'm not finna waste this opportunity. I'm finna take this to the next level. They be like, yo, if you an artist, you can only rap about this one subject. You have to stand for this specifically. I'm gonna stand for everything I've seen in my life. And I'm gonna try to express that to y'all the best I can.
Even after a car accident that almost killed him and left him with a broken jaw, he rapped a song with wires in his mouth, just proving further the character of who Kanye was. That song is actually Through the Wire and would eventually be one of the main songs that kicked off his stardom. No matter how much you dislike him for the stuff that he's done, you could at least admit that he's actually quite talented. Though the things he's done in the last decade or so have been concerning to say the least. There are a ton of websites out there containing entire lists worth of the controversies and incidents that Kanye has been a part of, so if you want to check those out you can, but in this video I'll only be touching base on a few that have stood out to me. He's had outbursts at concerts in front of hundreds of fans. He's even said that he's a god, even though for years before he became famous, he was a devout Christian, and I mean, he literally created Jesus Walks. And what really stood out to me and a ton of others in recent times was the breakdown he had during his presidential campaign.
Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
She said she was pregnant, and for 1 month, and 2 months, and 3 months, we talked about her not having this child. She had the pills in her hand. Do people know these pills where you take the pills, and if you take it, it's a wrap. The baby's gone.
Not to mention his recent love triangle situation between his ex-wife Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, where he's publicly airing out their business and even somewhat threatened Pete in one of his most recent music videos in which his head appears to be decapitated. There's clearly a significant difference between the old Kanye compared to this new Kanye. Many would say that the fame just got to his head and that most famous people and rich people will eventually just go mad at some point. Though I don't think that applies to this case. Kanye has always had a notable arrogance and overconfidence to his personality, and with the line of business he's in, it makes sense. Especially with all the rejection that comes from trying to make it to a certain standard or level in the music industry. How can you get others to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? What I actually think contributes to the Kanye West we see today is most notably the death of his mother. His mom was his everything and his main support since the beginning. And I know I said that Kanye was always arrogant and had a ton of confidence, but it was mainly because that his mother always had confidence in him, that he was able to have confidence in himself. Even within the first few weeks of her death, he was still performing at concerts in which these outbursts started to first occur. Obviously, this is not the best way to grieve a loved one, but for some reason, he still wanted to work hard despite this happening. Not to mention, he also suffers from bipolar disorder, which could explain some of the episodes he's had over the years, maybe more we don't even know about. Although the reasons described previously are not an excuse for the things he's done and said, it is important to note given he is a human being that had a significant life change at a high point in his career. It's fair to think about and ask though, how come someone as rich and famous as Kanye West hasn't gotten the help he needs to reduce these controversies? Obviously, normal people like you and me will never meet Kanye West, but nothing wrong with some speculation. Maybe he's being enabled by those around him. Nobody pulled him off the stage during his presidential campaign breakdown, and it seemed as though he was encouraged by multiple people to keep this going. It feels as though as he got more famous after the passing of his mom, the less close he was with real friends that could be there to look out for him. Maybe the amount of growing fame and success that's impacted him after his mom's passing. Getting everything you want without getting to share that with the most important person in your life can drive anyone crazy. Or maybe he just doesn't want to be helped and will continue to lead a life full of controversy. But I believe that multiple things can be true at once. It's important to have empathy for those that clearly have a cry for help and might not be getting the support they need from those around them. We really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But at the same time, this man can have any resources he wants if he wanted to. And it seems like Kim, no matter what you think about her,
get your fucking ass up and work.
Did everything in her power to be there for Kanye, but it seemed impossible after a while, and she just couldn't deal with it anymore. If there's anything to take away from learning more about Kanye West, it should be that people might seem like they're going crazy. It's actually more of a cry for help. Everyone's life circumstances are different. Not everyone can be surrounded by a good support system or network of people that can better help us out. And with Kanye, this shouldn't be an excuse for his actions either. Again, he's one of the richest people on this planet. How can one man get into so many controversies year after year? We'll never know since we aren't in his head going through what he's going through or even living his life.